Good Saturday evening to you. Good Saturday evening to you, Rockets fans. How are you doing? I'm KG Kris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review. I want to squeeze in a Let's Talk Houston Rockets show with you to get your thoughts on the Rockets losing two straight games to the Blazers in Portland. Show probably won't last too long, but it depends on how the conversation goes. But really, I want to get your thoughts on some of Ime Udoka's post-game comments after Friday's loss in Portland when the Rockets were outscored 34-15 in the fourth quarter, when the Rockets were just 1 for 17 from three in the quarter. After the game, Coach Udoka said the Rockets were mentally weak. That's kind of bold talk. So what are your thoughts on that? What does that indicate? Of course, Alpi Shingun didn't play, but as many of you have touched on, or a few of you touched on in the most recent Let's Talk Houston Rockets shows, the Rockets are relying a lot on Kevin Durant. And KD is a Hall of Famer. We all know that. But KD is 37 years old. KD can't do everything. KD can't carry the entire load. Is it just an issue of injuries to keep other personnel is a factor? Or is this a bigger concern? Let me know as you're watching, hopefully on Twitch. I forgot to set it up on Twitch. But as you're watching tonight's show on YouTube and also on Facebook via the Houston Roundball Review on both those platforms and my personal Facebook page too. But if you haven't seen it already, if you didn't see it last night after the game, some comments from Coach Ime. And, he's a very straightforward kind of person. Here you go. Comments from Ime Udoka. The Rockets mentally weak. Ouch.
Take a 37-year-old out of the game for 2 minutes, and you lose a 13-point lead, 11-0 run. That's what went wrong. Don't play with any aggression, confidence, mentally weak, and have a 15-point quarter, 1 for 17 from three. I think a bunch of wide open looks. Making shots help, but you have to guard on one end. You have to play with some aggression on one end, drive it physically, take care of the ball and not turn it over. So all of the above. But the fact that we have to rely on a 37-year-old for 40-plus minutes is a problem. It happened on both ends. We got some open looks before I called the timeout quickly, and then didn't guard it, all fouled. So all the above, we didn't defend at all. They just drove us, got offensive rebounds, and then the looks we got, either turned it over, played in the crowd, or just missed wide open shots.
So what do you think? What do you think about those comments? Dre, I have not heard today. I've been in Houston Cougar mode most of today, so I don't know if anything has come out. I know after last night's game, Ime said that he did not know yet Tari just sprained his ankle, and that was all he knew at that point. So I'm not sure if a timetable has been established or how serious the injury is. But y'all know how I feel about Tari Eason. Hell of a talent. And obviously sprained ankles are part of basketball, but the best ability is availability. And if he's having problems staying healthy, that's an issue. Jamon, how are you doing? Jamon with this. Stone didn't draft any elite players, only role players at best. Well, that's why he went out and acquired Kevin Durant, right? Hall of Famer. So what do y'all believe that the Rockets losses in Portland indicate larger issues? Or is it just simply failing to close out games, missing Shingun? What is the problem? What is the reason for these two losses specifically? Or are there bigger issues that y'all see? Do you see? And one thing is, I still think they need a better point guard. Amen Thompson and Reed Shepard, they're serviceable, and that's it. They're serviceable. And Reed, I still believe, is a better off guard than he is the ball in his hand as a facilitator. But that's just me. So what do you think, Jamon? Dre, what do you think are the issues? Jabari Smith, 0 for 10 from 3 last night. 6 for 21 overall. Wednesday, 1 for 7 from 3. So 2 games against the Blazers, 1 for 17 from 3. 8 for 34 in the 2 games against Portland. 8 for 34. Mehmet says, well, that's true, Draymond. Rafael did draft Arpin Şengün, and he's more than a role player. Mehmet says, bring Kobe White. Isn't Kobe White going through some injuries as well? Yeah, yeah, he's battling injuries himself. But I'm going to do it. Y'all know what 8 and 34 warrants and going 1 for 17 specifically. But I'm going to play the clip from Ime real quick in the YouTube short format when he's asked about Jabari Smith's struggles Friday night, but specifically. And he's kind of, he put it all on Jabari as well. Take a listen to these comments.
Not being as aggressive or confident as you should. You can see it on his face. And, if you're not making shots, you got to insert yourself in other ways. Get out in transition, crash the glass, defend and create turnovers, but defense to offense. And so you can't always rely on jump shots. And I think our team in general is going through a rough stretch. But him specifically, you got to play through it and not show it on your face.
Do y'all agree with that? He's talking about Jabari and showing the frustration on his face. In 2 games, he's attempted 3 free throws. Total, 3. 3 free throws. 1 for 17 from 3, 8 for 34 from 2. So half his attempts in these 2 games have been threes. So that's an issue. Asleep Art, how are you doing? Jamon with this comeback. Şengün, not elite. He's good, but not elite. You can define elite, how far along you want to say elite is, but he's a hell of a player. Asleep Art with, we might have traded the wrong guy for Durant. And who would you have traded instead? And Phoenix is winning with, even though Jalen Green has barely played this year. So Asleep Art, who do you suggest? Who are you suggesting in that? But back to Mr. 8 for 34 and 1 for 17 from 3. Y'all know what that indicates. So here it is. This is what you get when you go 1 for 17 from 3 in 2 games. Brick, 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 brick. Yeah. Jabari Smith. Is he in his head? Is he pressing? He's in a shooting slump for sure. But is he doing enough? He's only had 12 rebounds in the last 2 games as well. So he's not doing enough either way. Jamon feels Şengün needs to shoot threes and play higher level defense to be elite. Well, I could argue Joker is not much of a elite defender either. I mean, he's huge body, but Man, with this one, Bart will be fine without true point guard. No one can evaluate the team. Man, they do need a point guard. They do. And Trae Young is a wizard. C.J. McCollum is not really a true point guard. Defense is not great. I posted a clip on YouTube in the community section, how the Wizards defense was better with CJ on the bench than when he was on the court. So that helped the Rockets. You can quibble on that. Dennis Schroder got himself suspended 3 games for trying to fight a player. So who's out there that y'all would like to see the Rockets? Who would be y'all believe would be an upgrade for the Rockets at point guard? They need one. Well, first things first. How many of you agree with Mehmet that the Rockets need a point guard? a/true point guard, but a point guard. Draymond is with the folks I saw on Twitter last day or so. He's been last 4 games, he has not shot the ball well. He was playing well he had a 6-game stretch. He was playing well, shooting the ball well, rebounding well, doing a lot of things well. Hasn't lately. Jabari is just an average player. Has not met the expectations of a 3 pick. He was projected to go 1. He traded him for who? A sleep art. But you couldn't get KD if you kept Dylan Brooks. Yeah, you couldn't have done this. Hate saying it, but wish you kept Brooks. Dylan going to Dylan. I mean, you could argue Tari's a more skilled Dylan. They're both going to do dumb things at times to hurt the team. I mean, that's just being honest. Both do things like, what the hell, make you scratch your head. We're like, really? And Tari can't stay healthy. Do you think the Rockets need an offensive assistant? That's been discussed for a year plus now, season plus. I don't think it would be I don't think it would hurt. More offense in this game than Jabari or Tari. So, and let me say this, for those who are new to the show, J-Mon is consistent. He wasn't a huge fan of the trade for Kevin Durant anyway because he believed it shrunk the Rockets' window for a championship. And the Suns have nearly the same record as the Rockets. So what good did the KD trade do? Rocket fans, y'all answer that question. Rockets' last few games, they've hit a spell. I mean, Rockets have played how many more road games and home games? 6, 7? I think that's a factor. The injuries have been a factor. Injuries to key people are a factor. Dorian Finney-Smith being out for so long is not shooting the ball well, is not playing well. That's a factor. So a lot of different things are adding up to their issues. Brooks over Jabari. At times, he could be. J-Mon says the Rockets don't need they don't need an offensive assistant. They need a shooting coach, psychiatrist, so they stop missing open shots. I think Kris is still with the Clippers because they haven't figured out what they're going to do with him yet. They have not resolved that just yet. But would the Chris Paul that played earlier this season, I mean, wasn't shooting the ball well, wasn't knocking down shots at a high percentage, would he be an upgrade for the Rockets at point guard? Yeah, he can be a veteran, but keep in mind, Kris has never been a player to hold his tongue in the locker room. How well would that go over here in this locker room? Are there no other point guard options out there than a guy who's about to retire? I mean, is that what Rocket fans are looking at? A guy who's ready to retire, who will retire, as the only upgrade option for them at point guard? Or would the Rockets just be better off waiting for Fred VanVleet to return from his injury, pushing for returning in March? Too soon, but anyway, should the Rockets just wait for Fred to return? Will that satisfy you guys? Will that be enough? If the only really legit option for the Rockets at point guard is Chris Paul. Sleepar says retire, then become an assistant. J-Mon. Getting CP3 can't hurt. You just need a short-term rental at point guard for this season. I think he can hurt. I think Chris's vocal style could hurt this team. He's not for everybody. His leadership style is not for everyone. So I think he could hurt in that sense. I mean, not even talking about his struggles to make shots this year. But are you saying even considering that with Chris Paul and his locker room style, you're still saying he'd be an upgrade for the Rockets at point guard? Dre says Rockets should trade for Ryan Rollins. Jamon asked, would I say CP3 and Ime have the same type of personality? Stubborn? No nonsense? Kind of rubs some folks the wrong way? You could argue that, yeah. Some players swear by Ime's style. Players coach. Some folks say Ime is a hard ass. He tells it like it is, but is it always a good thing? Mehmet says the moment Fred got injured, Stone should have found a new point guard. Well, I mean they're at the first apron, so trade for who? And who the Rockets have? You know, the Rockets. I said it in the summer. The Rockets should not have brought back Jayshawn Tate. They could have had another point guard instead of bringing back Jayshawn Tate. But they chose to bring back Jayshawn Tate. That's a roster spot. I mean, what is he doing? Good guy. Probably could help other teams. But for what this team needs, they need a point guard more than they need Jayshawn Tate. A sleep art says Schroder is the only other point guard to push for, and he just got suspended 3 games. NBA announced it this evening. For got to be more to it. 3 games for trying to punch a player, fight a player. Let me see. I put it on the Men's Hoops blog. League announced it like within the last 2 hours. Dennis Schroder for confronting and attempting to strike another player. The incident occurred approximately 40 minutes following the Kings' 125-101 loss to the Lakers at Crypto.com Arena. When Schroder sought out the player in an arena hallway, and based on this was like 2 weeks ago, December 28th, and it was just announced. Wow. So he won't play tomorrow, serving game 1 of his 3-game suspension. Wow. Remember going real negative, real pessimistic. I think we should admit that this year is gone. If we are a second-round exit, I will be happy for the team. Lots of experience for our young players, and Ime can figure out what will be done next year. Jamon, I know Jamon doesn't like that. Second-round playoff ouster would be a failure, right? The goal was to win the chip this year, but when Fred got injured towards ACL, how much of the goal changed when Fred got injured? What was the new expectation? Jamon, are you still saying, even with Fred injured and out, what I think should be for the season, that the goal was still championship or bust without their best point guard? That's kind of harsh. Now, if they, go along my line of why you bring back Jayshawn Tate especially after Fred got injured, but no Fred, the championship, to me, that dream ended for this season without Fred. Am I wrong? Am I the only one who thinks that? Or more of y'all agree with Jamon that it's still championship or bust? Jam on with this. It shouldn't have changed. We had a young core that was supposed to raise the ceiling. If they can't keep it going, maybe these aren't the players we think they are. But of the young core, there's not a point guard. Reed is not a point guard. Amen Thompson is not a true point guard. He's a decent, like I said, they're both serviceable. Reed is a scorer. Neither one of them are point guards, especially the caliber. We're talking like veterans like Fred, Chris Paul, heck, even a focused Dennis Schroder. None of them are like that. And J-Mon, you know how I feel about this statement right here. Reed was supposed to replace Fred eventually. I never agreed to that. I never ascribed to that belief. Different kind of style of players. Just don't see it. But as we're talking about Jabari and his struggles from three, Dorian Finney-Smith, 1 for 7 from three last night. Just took 2 threes Wednesday, only made 1. Do y'all agree with Ime that the Rockets have become over-reliant on a 37-year-old player? And that other players have not stepped up? Fred was supposed to be a bridge to either Amen or Reed. Amen can't shoot, so it has to be Reed. Reed can defend one-on-one. Not as well as others would like. Let's see. I mean, the Rockets, let me read the fourth quarter stats from last night, numbers-wise in the paint. Rockets shot 6 for 28 from the floor, including 1 for 17 from 3. Missed 2 free throws. The Blazers went 10 for 19 overall, 3 for 7 from 3. Outscored the Rockets in the fourth quarter 14-8 in the paint. 7-2 in fast break points. Won the board battle in the fourth 16-12. Had more assists than the Rockets, 7-5. Both teams had 3 turnovers. I'm going to play the comments again from Ime saying that, here it is. Here it is.
Take a 37-year-old out of the game for 2 minutes, and you lose a 13-point lead, 11-0 run. That's what went wrong. Don't play with any aggression, confidence, mentally weak, and have a 15-point quarter, 1 for 17 from 3. I think a bunch of wide open looks. Making shots help, but you have to guard on one end. You have to play with some aggression on one end, drive it physically, take care of the ball and not turn it over. So all of the above, but the fact that we have to rely on a 37-year-old for 40-plus minutes is a problem. So it happened on both ends. We got some open looks before I called the timeout quickly, and then didn't guard it all, fouled. So all the above, we didn't defend at all. They just drove us, got offensive rebounds, and then the looks we got, either turned over, played in the crowd, or just missed wide open shots.
And here are the Rockets' shots in the first 3 minutes of the fourth quarter from last night. Dorian Finney-Smith missed 3-pointer. Ahmed missed a driving layup. Jabari missed a 3-pointer. Then Jabari missed another 3-pointer. Ahmed missed a turnaround jump shot from 12 feet. Jabari missed a 7-foot pull-up jump shot. Ahmed missed a 3-pointer. Jabari missed a 3-pointer. Dorian Finney-Smith missed a 3-pointer. All those threes, all those clangs, no free throw attempts, jumpers, just the lack of someone who can settle the Rockets down and get them good shots. It's glaring. I mean, it is glaring. Taste of the Island that's a new name. Haven't seen that one. welcome to the show. Jamon says, I take it the Rockets aren't interested in trading for Ja Morant, not an email player. And which Ja Morant are you going to get? Because he's not shooting the ball well this year either. And he's dealing with injuries. If they are serious about winning a championship with KD, some hard decisions must be made soon. Jamon, expound on that. Hard decisions such as what? Who do you have in mind? Taste of the Island suggests Ayo Dosunmu would be a good pickup from the Bulls. Real Purple and Gold is upset about these two losses. You got reason to be upset. Boy. the Kings, well, I mean, they already done it once. Boy, we'll see. Kings beat the Rockets tomorrow. Woo. Boy. Real Purple and Gold play. Purple and Gold. They can't really create offense without KD on the court, and that's a problem. Jamon answers my question. You got to trade some young pieces for some help this season. For example, Jabari, maybe even Reed. I am disappointed to not hear the Rockets mentioned in any trade rumors. Does not mean they're not considering trades. You know, kudos to Jake Fisher for nailing the Trae Young to the Wizards for C.J. McCollum. Jake Fisher put that out there on Monday. And Mark Stein put it out there. And then the other national NBA guys latched on to it on Wednesday. Jake had out there on Monday. But it does not, just because it, like I said, and I said it before, most of the trades, not all, but most of the trades that do happen, you don't hear about. They're not leaked. They're not reported. They're not rumored. Because the teams involved, the personnel involved do a great job of keeping that stuff in-house. Even with the agents. So keep that in mind as well. So don't fret. Now, I'm not saying I've heard anything, but even if I did, I wouldn't say too much of it because I probably was sworn to secrecy about it. But just because you have not heard, seen any rumors about it, does not mean it. Rafael, all of his issues that some Rocket fans have with him, he's not blind. He sees what y'all see. I'm sure Ime has told him in more direct words than what Ime said in post games his feelings about this team as currently constructed. So this team, I'd be surprised if they pull off a blockbuster, but I do believe they're going to make a trade or two around the edges because this team has flaws. And as more and more games pass, those flaws are becoming more and more obvious. And they're glaring. Demon states Stone not blind, but I feel he holds on to players too long. Well, he didn't hold on Jalen Green too long. Jalen's gone. Mehmet says Stone thinks long term. And y'all know how I feel about this as well. The owner of this team, if he says, we got to do something, Rafael. You told me this year we were going to get over the hump. I don't see it. Rafael, we need a point guard. Rafael, I don't care what you got to do. Make it happen. I'm paying your salary. Get this ish done. If the ambassador to Italy says that, something's going to happen. Because he can say, Rocket folks can say, and people all can say, Ime push for KD, blah, 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 blah. The Fertitas made that happen. Come on now. Let's be real. Ricky Diehard sports fan says Suns won that KD trade. Well, I mean, we're not even in the playoffs yet. Trying to strike Luka. I since the press release came out, I did not have time to see who the player was. But I knew it wouldn't take long to figure out who it was. Somebody would leak out who that player was, and then try to hit. And 40 minutes after the game, dude, 40 minutes. Damn. Wow. But Rockets need KD or Alp on the floor at all times. The rest of the guys need help to get double teams, to get open shots, all those different things. When Alp was healthy, there were staggered minutes. KD, Alp, one of them would rest, the other one would play. With Alp out, it's KD. And the rest of the guys aren't doing anything, aren't doing enough. Herb, my brother Herb. Well, Herb, how you doing, man? Pro Herb Baker, who we go back to high school. And we're talking hoops. When was that, Herb? Was that Wednesday? This week? A few days ago. So glad you joined the conversation. I mean, when Fred was hurt this season, as far as the title was it ended right there. They have not replaced Fred. And they need to replace Fred. Jayshawn Tate. Come on. They got a whole bunch of dudes like that. Dorian Finney-Smith has not done his part so far. The surgery set him back. Let's not say the injury. He finally had surgery, set him back. They put a lot of faith in Reed Shepherd. Reed is not a point guard. And even if you want to say he can be one, he's young and learning that position in the NBA. That's a tall task to ask for a young person. So Rockets got to figure some stuff out. You know, he's better than rubbish. I mean, he's a good 3-and-D player. Has a good 3-point percentage in his career. You could argue he's redundant on this team, though. And I wouldn't spend too much time with you on arguing that. Herb, did you make it up to Waco like you were planning to do? Did you make that drive? Ride, share, beware. I like that. Taking shots at Portland. Ooh. Portland, the organization. And based on what I've seen and read and heard, you aren't wrong about that comment right there. But to Thiago Splitter's credit, the Blazers have probably won more games so far than a lot of folks expected. Their young guys have played well. Hell, Caleb Love is really well suited to come off the bench as a microwave type option because he has not met a shot he did not like. But they're playing well. They got some really good young pieces. But the Rockets got stuff to fix. And let me play this again. Because I know folks, a lot of Rocket fans are fed up with Jabari. I understand that. So I'm going to play this again. This is Ime was asked his thoughts on Jabari and what Jabari didn't. Jabari's 1 for, 6 for 17 and 0 for 10 from 3 performance Friday night against the Trailblazers. And Ime said this.
Not being as aggressive or confident as you should. You can see it on his face. And, if you're not making shots, you got to insert yourself in other ways. Get out in transition, crash the glass, defend, and create turnovers, put defense to offense. And so you can't always rely on jump shots. And I think our team in general is going through a rough stretch. But him specifically, you got to play through it and not show it on your face.
Do you all agree with those words? Jabari was not aggressive Friday night, has not been aggressive the last few games. Is he in his head? Have y'all seen the frustration on his face as you're watching the Rockets? That's a problem. He's letting his missed shots have a negative impact on his game. Man, you got to get over that. You're going to miss shots. It's part of basketball. You have to do other things to help your team win. But that happens to veterans as well. You go through slumps, but Good job, Herb. I'm gonna talk to you in a few. I'm gonna call you in a few days, man. Probably after the Cougs play West Virginia, and should beat West Virginia, but West Virginia beat Kansas again. But I know more and more folks want Jabari traded. All right, let's go that route before we wind down tonight's edition of Let's Talk Houston Rockets. I don't have any people in mind, but I think you guys do. Trade Jabari for who? Who? And be realistic. If you've had it, you spent some time with the trade machine, and you got something that worked. Okay, toss it out there, but don't be like my man last season. I know he was just trolling and being funny, but don't be like Not Too Complicated and toss out stuff like Jabari for Cade. Okay, no, let's be realistic. Trade Jabari for who? So who do you think would want Jabari, and who you want in return to help this year's Rockets? Go. Give me some legit names. I saw someone tossed out Drew Holiday. Drew he's almost healthy. He's been injured. He's almost healthy. But Drew's make a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money. How much money? What's the status of his contract? Let's see real quick here on Spot Track. See if I can bring it up. But yeah, give me some realistic trade ideas involving Jabari Smith Jr. Because yes, it definitely seems like y'all are fed up with him. Drew makes $32 million this year, 34.8 next season. And he has an option on the season, the 27-28 season, and he's unrestricted after that. That's a lot of money for a guy coming off injuries. But toss him out there. Yeah, man, but I said it. Drew Ho's expensive. Yeah, some serious numbers. And Jaylen Brown, yeah, he's not going anywhere. Boston's overachieved without Jason Tatum. But Darius Garland, what? Got to be more in that trade. Both ways, I would think. And where would Jabari play with? I mean, not the Rockets' problem, but where would he play in Cleveland? And the Cavs are at the second apron. Hell, aren't they over it? So they got to match salaries. So that'd be complicated to make that work. But BC says, nah, Drew's good in Portland. It's a lot of money for a guy probably past his prime. Better days are behind him. And getting paid a whole lot of money for that. Nikhil Alexander Walker. He's with the Hawks, right? I think they like him there. He's part of the reason why the Hawks he's doing so well, did so well without Trey. Obviously, Jalen Johnson was the leader of that. But Nikhil Alexander Walker, he's played well this year. So I don't see them giving up on him. LaMelo for Jabari. Yeah. Mehmet says there is no good player we can get now. We have to wait till the offseason. It looks that way. I mean, but Rafael needs to hit those phones, do something. It's not a time to panic. I mean, it's not my team. I'm not a fan of Rockets. But they need to upgrade that point guard spot. And it's not just let's wait for Fred to get healthy and come back. Agreed? So that'll do it for this edition of Let's Talk Houston Rockets. Scan that QR code. It's for the Houston Roundball Review merch. Get you some merch, get you a cap, get you a mug, get you some shirt, short sleeve, long sleeve, sweatshirt. If you're a Coug fan, get you some once a Coug, always a Coug merch. Rocket fans got cap, shirt, mug for you as well. So scan that QR code. Rockets and the Kings Sunday. Should be an interesting matchup because both teams are kind of struggling right now. We'll see. And neither one of them is great defensively right now either. So we'll see how they go. But thank you for everybody. Jamon, Herb, my brother Herb, everybody. The new names, BC, Real Purple and Gold, Ricky, diehard sports fan, Rideshare, from a Blazers fan. Better days ahead for the Blazers, looks like, on the court, front office. Yeah. But appreciate y'all taking time out of your Saturday night, Saturday evening. If you're watching overseas, Sunday morning / afternoon. We'll do it again roughly a week. Let's see. What is this? Next Saturday, maybe next Saturday, because the Cougs' next game will be Sunday, the 18th, after this coming Tuesday. So maybe next Saturday, we'll see the schedule. But thank you. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to start playing more, uploading more and more YouTube shorts and reels. Do things a little different. Got to stand out from everybody else. But as always, since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. Everyone, take care. Peace.
Game over.